Hey, this is James Woodruff with Endurance Home Inspections. I'm just going to do a re-inspection with you guys. I've already looked everywhere. This is going to go over everything. So I'm going to go over as much as I can remember. And then I've got my sheet of paper, so this might be a little jumbled, but at least we can see everything. So let's get started. First things first, this is where your water meter is completely covered in water. So I can't tell if they fixed anything. It looks like they might have done something, but it's way more full of water than it was before, and it's been very dry around here. So that has not, from what I see, that has not been fixed. Okay, coming around. So they did cut the tree. The only thing I recommended was they replace the shingle as well, maybe do some painting there. But they didn't replace the shingle. Same thing on the rest of the roof. There were some shingles that had some deterioration. I know it's a new roof, so we recommended having those replaced. It does not look like they did that. Okay, coming around, in case I forget, this is the window that was broken, and they have not replaced it. Out here, we've got our condenser. I think one of the things that was requested was to put it on a concrete slab rather than this wood, and they have not done that yet. Same thing over here with housing. It's still really loose under here. There we go. That was one of the things I think that was requested. Looks like some insulation has been put outside, but in the crawl space for that, it still remains uninsulated. I know that was something that was requested. And same thing, which I'm not going to take you into the crawl space, but there was 2 drain lines coming out, one for the HVAC system, because they're in the middle of the house, the HVAC system and the hot water heater. They both have drain lines that come out. So they fixed the hot water heater one and put it into the main drain line, but they still don't have the HVAC system running to the exterior. It's still draining in the crawl space. I put pictures of both of them in the report, so I don't know if there was some confusion there, but the HVAC system needs to be coming out here because right now that condensation is just building up in the bottom of the crawl space. Okay, a couple things they did do. So they put backflow preventer on those, which is good. All right, coming around. Here. Out here, so they did put in a GFCI protected outlet, which they did it for the sorry, losing my mind, for the garage outlet. They have not put it in for the kitchen, which they're all GFCI protected except for one of them, which I noted in the report, and it's still not tripping. So we'll go back in and try it again, but didn't quite fix what I wanted. Which really at this point, I'd probably just put a new outlet on there entirely. Easier fix. So same thing back here. Water pressure was a little high back here. Normal water pressure is below 80 PSI, and it was about 86 PSI. So a little bit high, which can put, excess pressure on the plumbing. Putting on a reducer valve will help, keep the pressure at a normal level, but they did put on backflow preventer. Okay, back here, they, again, I don't know exactly what all was requested. I just looked at the report y'all sent me, but there's no guardrail and there's no stair rail right here. And then back here, this was requested to be fixed, I believe. But they just completely ripped it out. So maybe it was, maybe they couldn't repair it. Maybe that was the only thing they could do. Okay, back here, let's see. They have put in new conduit, which is great. Before it was just that big, just wiring hanging out. Trying to think if there's anything else out here. Yeah, we'll go over the report here in a second and make sure I hit everything. In here, one of the other things was to adjust these windows back here so they lock. They're still not locking properly. A couple of them are, but for the most part they're not. The kitchen and the bath sinks underneath they're not leaking anymore. So that's good, they have fixed that. So over here, you'll see right here. So see the lights come up and it trips it. It's great. So it tripped the outlet. That's GFCI protection. The only problem was this one was not. So no matter how long I hold it, it's still not. So that was the thing I had requested. But again, it's pretty far away from the water. Feel good, at least these are GFCI protected. Okay, another thing. Out here, we had requested to put a vent for the dryer. So the lint and everything else has somewhere to go, the excess, the hot air, and there's still not one. So they haven't installed that. I think they had said that they were gonna install one through the crawl space, but there is not one at this time. Right here, they have labeled them, which is great. That way there's no confusion. And they're still not in the same housing. I don't know if that was requested or not, but just, main reason I put that in the report is because if these start leaking, at least they have somewhere to go. But this will be good for your washing machine. Okay. Back here, so I think we had requested for this ladder to be secured. It's still not secured. The door to the hatch has not been fixed. And I had requested some purlin supports in the attic space. There's just like one or two that are missing, and they have not been installed. And then there was a piece of decking support up there that looks like they just ripped off the piece that was broken. So I just recommended replacing that. Pretty easy fix. All right. Coming back here. So you are getting hot water here now. So that is working. So here, that I'd recommended. So when you just turn on the tub, it diverts fine. You're not getting really any water out of the shower head. When you turn on the shower, it's working great. The only problem was when you turn it off. Well, shoot, now let's let it run for a minute. It wasn't doing it just a minute ago. Maybe something snapped into place. So these two are draining fine now. They're not leaking. Oh, looks like it's working. Maybe when there's too much, yeah, okay, that's it. So when there's enough pressure, it does not divert the water. That's what was going on. So if there's a little bit of pressure, it's fine, but there should not be any water running out of the shower head. All right, coming around. If there's anything in here. Yeah, okay, so here is another window broken that they did not fix. Here. Right here, I'm not sure if this was requested or not, but don't like this connection. It's got some, looks like duct tape around it. Looks like a little bit of condensation. So the problem with that is this condensation can build up and it's just not a great connection. And then in the crawl space, this is where all your condensate goes. So when you have your air conditioning going, your HVAC system creates a lot of condensation and it needs somewhere to go. And so right now, this drain is just draining into crawl space. They did this one, so this is for your hot water heaters. They plumbed that correctly. They did not do the HVAC system. All right. Let's see what else. I think there was anything in there. We'll go take a look at the paper here in a second. So here's some of the stuff I do know. Like this window, it said that was requested and it's still broken. I can completely put my hand through it. this should have glass there. All right. In here, the drain is working great. The only thing I noted here was, I think I requested that this be filled in. I don't know if they put some caulking or something else, but there's still a large crack right here. They said they were gonna fix that. So recommend sealing that up so water flows better into the drain. Shut that. Let's go look at the paper. So they have been labeled, so seller will install dryer vent. No, they have not. Water heating equipment. So they have adjusted the water temperature. It's about 120, so it's a little bit over, but it's not as high as it was. So, but that's an easy adjustment on the water heater. You just turn the knob a little bit down. And then there was no hot water going to kitchen sink. They have repaired that. So they'll have the plumber evaluate the water heater and do necessary repairs, run the HVAC emergency drain line to exterior from crawl space. So they did that for the water heater. I don't know why they put an HVAC for that. So there's a water heater drain line and the HVAC drain line. Both need to be plumbed to the outside. They have done the hot water heater, so he did that. Correct kitchen sink, bath sinks, the leaks, they did that. Caulk or grout around shower drain, it didn't look like they did that, so that's an X. This will all be in the report. Seller will install anti-siphon, yep, did that. Correct inverted hot, yeah, so they did that in the main shower. It was inverted, so they did fix that in the shower. Remove water hose, that is currently, yes, so they removed the water hose. We checked the water pressure out there, it was a little high, so maybe install a reducer valve. Correct water diverter at the tub. So that was not fixed. As we saw, when there's too much pressure on the water diverter, it comes out. So if you just try to fill up the tub, it's coming out of the shower head. You shouldn't do that. Make sure there's not a leak at the meter line. It sure looks like there's a leak to me out front. So here is the hot water heater leaking into the crawl space. They did plumb this over to the main drain line, so it's draining to the outside. And then this is your condensation drain from the HVAC system. It's drained directly into the crawl space. It should have been drained to the exterior, so it's still leaking into the crawl space, so that needs to be fixed. All right. And install concrete slab under AC condenser, insulate the refrigerant lines. So they did not do this. They did not install a concrete slab. There is a concrete slab, but it's all cracked and broken, and it needs to be straight and level. Insulate the refrigerant lines. They did not do that in the crawl space. Adjust wiring connection for the condenser. They did not do this either. So it's not secured, and the problem with that is when it's not secured against the metal into the system, those wires can rub against where it goes into the HVAC or the condenser, and they can wear away and break. So here's my notes about branch circuits, and let's see what they're going to fix. Seller to have electrician ensure outlets close to sinks and garage are GFCI protected. So for the most part, they did that. These are all GFCI except for that one over there. So really, technically that needs to be GFCI protected. It is away from water, but they did fix the one in the garage. Okay, so fix electrical outlet switch and light in backyard. So they just removed it, as I said earlier. This wiring has been put in conduit, so that's perfect. Install GFCI, okay, so they did not do that in that one outlet in the kitchen. Stairway has 3 more, so seller to install handrail at back exterior steps. They did not do that. Okay, seller to replace broken glass at window. They did not do that. Fix all window locks that aren't locking properly. They did not do that either. Okay, purlin supports framer's recommendations. So if there's a framer that came by and recommended a certain thing, you know, they're going to be the experts on the roof. I just saw this somewhere missing. But they did not. There's certain things they didn't do either, so maybe someone didn't come at all. So install the hatch door, they did not. Adjust the attic access ladder, they did not do that. And then we sent a picture of the decking support that's broken, and they did not fix that either. Looks like they just popped it off. So they did cut the tree limbs back away from the roof shingles. Damaged shingles they did not replace. So they're not terrible, but for a new roof, they shouldn't have any damage to them or be lifting at all. So, and then right here, they should have replaced this shingle, but they just left it, and so it's got a big cutout, as you'll see in the report. And then, let's see, half bath and master bath. Actually, you know what? I need to get back down the crawl space and take a look at this. I don't think they did anything for this, but I need to get some pictures for you guys. We'll see, you know, at this point, seller will have his foundation repair company come back and do a recommended repairs by buyer's foundation repair company, seller to evaluate the damaged wood under the bathroom. So I don't know if they ended up doing anything or if they just evaluated this, but let me go check. Still waiting on WDI report. So the report came back, and seller will do carpenter ant treatment. We need to ask for a report on this, if they did some repairs and fixes for the carpenter ants. This is still there. So I've got a picture of basically the same thing. And one of the things I look for is typically when they do some kind of WI treatment, they come over and put a sticker underneath here just to show that they did something. But I don't see a sticker. So they might have done something, but when I don't see this, the stickers, I have nothing to go on. So I would ask the owner and see if they did anything, but the fact that it's not cleaned up, maybe they didn't do anything. So I'm gonna crawl back under, go check that spot under the bathrooms. I don't think they repaired or fixed that decking, that flooring, because they would, a lot of times when you, let's get a better picture. It's kind of wet over there. Yeah, when you've got this under a bathroom, this is in the back there, and then this is over here. Shoot, I gotta crawl to the back. This is repairable, but this, usually, you know, it's connected to the tiling and everything else, and so you've got to rip out everything. So, but I'll take a look and let y'all know. All right, any questions, just let me know. Thanks.